Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Very excited, happy to be here. You may notice there is a new setup we have every Saturday morning. Now we're going to be live here at WCCO at News Talk 830 WCCO. Excited to be here. Excited to be on CCO. And again, this is a live show. It's a local show. And anytime, again, we've got the same phone number to reach out. 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us by phone or text. 612-294-6949. The show is hosted by Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Of course, Mr. Mike Overson in studio with us today. But this is our debut performance on WCCO. Again, it's going to be 11 a.m. to noon. Every Sunday. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Mike.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday. Every Saturday. Good to see you there, young man.
Good to see you, Ryan.
Good to see you. Here. We got a full show. We got a lot to talk about today.
We do.
It's good to be on CCO. You started your radio journey with CCO.
My very first mortgage and real estate radio show was in this exact studio in April of 2008. So it looks the same. It's crazy. It's like time never passed.
It's coming back full circle.
It is. Yeah, it's great.
So the first segment, again, we always like to dive in to do a mortgage update, real estate update, mortgage update as well. We're going to give you some statistics on that. A lot going on in the market, again, from a real estate and a mortgage standpoint. Scott Wolmering will be coming here very soon. But Mike, you had a lot of questions mortgage-wise already. A lot going on.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. A lot about rates, so we'll talk about that once we hit live on air here. We'll talk a little bit about, what's happening now, what to expect coming in the future, get a lot of questions around that. And then we'll just talk about any other questions that come up from our listeners, throughout the show.
Yeah, CCO. So again, for those who have never been to the News Talk 830 studio, it is downtown Minneapolis. And it's, again, we're excited to be here. I'm excited to be with WCCO. We really enjoyed being over at Love FM. The folks at Cumulus were just wonderful, great people, and we really enjoyed our time over there. But again, excited to be on WCCO in a talk format. And throughout the show, as you're watching, questions, 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us by phone or by text as well. We've got some listings to feature as well. And Mike, we already did have a question come in about, again, FHA offers. Are you seeing a few more FHAs get done in the market? Any more FHA offers, Mike, getting accepted?
Yeah, we're seeing a few more. I would say this entire year it's been about the same pace, if you will, as far as FHA offers go. You go back a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was almost none being accepted. That has loosened up, and we kind of spoke about that before. Where the last 6 to 9 months, we've definitely seen more FHA offers get accepted, VA offers get accepted as well. And that pace is held basically, for the last 6 to 9 months. So it's good to see that just because it gives some more people a chance to get into a house.
Yeah, again, hope you're having a great weekend, a nice start to the weekend. A lot going on in the market, a lot going on to talk about here today. And again, we appreciate you joining us wherever you might be catching us on social media. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, wherever it might be. Happy to be here. Scott, good to see you there, young man. Thanks for joining us. We're not live yet, but we're streaming, and good to see you, buddy.
Hey guys, appreciate it. I went to the wrong WCCO. I'm sure it was right in your email with the right direction. I'd actually have to read the email. So, anyways, I'm here.
Yeah, better late than never.
That's right.
Better late than never. And again. Throughout the week as well, 612-294-6949 is how we're going to be able to take questions as well. Every show we're going to start, it's about 11:07, 11:08 about, where we go live on air with Josh and team. But here we go. We're getting ready to go live on WCCO. Again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us anytime throughout the show by phone or text. guys got it, the buttons? Or you want me to? Hey, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us here Saturday morning, 11 a.m. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, a local real estate show hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wohlmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team Remax Advantage Plus. It is Saturday, July the 29th, and we are excited to be here on News Talk 830 WCCO for our debut performance of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Love CCO, love the listeners of CCO. My brother Dan's a big listener. My mom, my in-laws, everybody loves CCO.
Well, your mom, that's good. Your mom's a listener. So,
Yeah,
so that makes them credible.
It's exciting to be here. Mike Overson, Scott Wohlmering. Good morning to you guys. Thanks for being here as always.
Morning.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. First time on air with WCCO. We're excited about it, but we have been on air for about 18 years on different stations. We do talk everything real estate and mortgage related. Love your feedback. It's a live show. So whether you're watching us on social media or you're listening to us on air, 612-294-6949 is how you can join the discussion at any time.
Yeah, again, any point throughout the show. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. We our friends from over the years, Mike, have had real estate shows on CCO. Mr. Andy Prasky, Mr. Chris Rooney, John Schuster is a very good friend of ours. He does a lot of great work here in the Twin Cities. But we're excited to be here. We're excited to be here with the show itself. It is interactive. 612-294-6949. We talk about everything with the Twin Cities market specifically. And we've been doing this show, like Scott said, for over 15 years. Mike, you've been doing the shows for just as long.
Just as long. Yeah, my very first radio show, mortgage and real estate radio show I did was in this exact studio in April of 2008.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I was sitting in that chair right there, my friend, sweating because it was my first one.
That's right.
Didn't know how it was going to go or what was going to happen, but here we are 15 years later back in the same studio. So I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, I'm asked a lot. How much prep time do you guys have to do for the show? I'm like, we don't do that much prep time.
Yeah,
we kind of just wing it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
A lot of good stuff. Mike, let's talk. Let's dive in mortgage update if we could here.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So mortgage rates have been up and down. If you look at July, lots of ups and downs actually in July. June was flat. June was a boring month, and I love boring months when it comes to rates because it's predictable. They're not moving around a whole lot, right? People can plan on that, plan their budget and stuff when rates hover around the same level. July, we've seen rates as low as 6.375. We've seen them as high as 7.37. So you get people that are out there looking, right? You get out there looking, and hey, today's rate 6.5. Here's what your payment is going to be at the price range you're looking at 6.5. Well, a week later, if it goes up to 7.25, is that house still affordable? Can they still be looking in that price range? A lot of people, it's like, no, we got to back off that price range. Well, then a week later, it goes back down to 6.5. And it's a little bit tough for some people, to budget and plan for those swings when they're not under contract for a house. And so July, like I said, was bouncing around a little bit more. We're actually sitting okay right now. We're in the high sixes right now. But I think rates are actually going to come down next week a little bit, where I think we're probably going to hit, mid sixes probably next week, just based on some of the economic reports coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been a year-ish now where people have kind of started to get used to these rates. Obviously nobody listening has caught the show before, but we talk about it all the time. Here's what happened to the market. The first 4 months of last year, we were at 2.6 to 3% on a rate. And then literally in 90 days, it went to 7. Well, think about that. If you were buying a $400,000 house, or if you were buying $1 million house, it'd be the same as a $450,000 house payment. So it really did shut the market down. And, you combine that with low inventory, Buyers having a hard time even finding anything, and then obviously just being scared because of payment shock overnight. Starting to settle in, and we're starting to see a really aggressive late summer, fall.
Yeah, let's dive in again. This first segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show, we always do like to, again, give a mortgage update and a real estate update here in the Twin Cities. From a real estate standpoint, new listings are down 15% year over year. There were 1,527 new properties that came on the market. Pending sales or accepted purchase agreements down almost 5%. There were 1,067 pending sales, and then the inventory is still down year over year. There are 14.3% less homes for sale right now in the Twin Cities, 7,674. The median sales price, guys, has stayed pretty flat. It actually increased slightly year over 0.5% to 382,000. And then the last number that, again, sellers, buyers in our market should be aware of is the days on market. Days on market has increased almost 50% year over year. So days on market is now up to 31 days. We're seeing a lot of price reductions in our market, a lot of extended time on market. And Scott, it just seems like, again, the crazy busy COVID years, it is settling down a little bit. Instead of maybe 15 offers on a home, we might get 2 or 3 or 4. But pricing is so important.
Yeah. There's lots of people out there and lots of agents, frankly, they're chasing a number that no longer exists. I know the median sale price is not down from 382,000, but that is drastically driven by properties that are under 500 grand. And so, yeah, they've held their value just because, they're the only thing that's even affordable. If, affordable at 7% is affordable. But everything in the mid-range, frankly, I don't care where you're at, any outer ring suburb, that mid-range pricing is where we're seeing so many drops. The 6, the 7, the 8, they're just not getting what they did even 7-8 months ago. And that's where the pushback has happened.
Yeah, Mike, you've seen that too. I mean, are you seeing many low appraisals come in at all on your offers and purchase agreements you're seeing?
Not too many. And surprisingly, I figured we'd probably see a little bit more at this point, but we just really haven't. You'll get some here and there. Again, it's the sellers reaching for a number. Perfect example is, I know, Ryan, an agent on your team, there's a townhouse there listed at 350,000. Well, all the townhouses around that exact townhouse there with the same floor plan, same square footage, this exact same unit in the last 2 to 3 months have all sold for 335. So why do you think you can get 350 for that house when the exact same units in the last 60 to 90 days have all sold for 335 or less? So it's those situations where, if a buyer does come in at 350, you're probably going to see a low appraisal come in.
Yeah, again, we're up against the first break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Super excited and grateful to be with the good folks here at News Talk 830 WCCO for the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are a live show. We are local. We help people buy, sell, invest in real estate throughout Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for so many folks joining us on social media. We appreciate it. Scott, good to see you. You made it, bud.
I made it. Yeah, it was good. I should have known when security stopped me at the door, and I was like, I said, no, nobody told you. He's like, I have no idea who you are. And I said, well, we're going to be here every Saturday. Nice to meet you. And then when I called Ryan's like, just hang down there while I was at the TV WCCO.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Mike, you've been here before. They've been so good to us here at CCO. Really warm welcome. Have to thank Greg Sell is with CCO, our rep. Wonderful guy. Has been so gracious and kind to us. His team, everybody here, they've been really welcoming. And you guys got to be on your best behavior now. We're on CCO.
We do. They're actually going to the 3M.
I know 3M they are.
I'm so jealous.
You got to be on your best behavior, Mike.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. It's this one over here you got to worry about.
Well, they've got that button.
Yeah, they've got the button. And we got to give a shout out. Who's producing our show. Tell a little background about that.
Yeah, it's funny. So Josh has worked with me in our radio shows on this station now, and then on a previous station on another real estate and mortgage radio show that we worked with over on Score North.
Huh.
So on Jason Walker's show. And so, so I know Josh from that show there over at Score North too, because he's helped us out there produce it.
Now, I don't know if you told Josh, part of the deal with producing the show is we're actually going to bring you on air fairly often. I mean, I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all. I am the spring chicken when it comes to owning a home, and obviously I'm still on that upward incline of trying to eventually get a home in the next 5 years. So I'm like the prime candidate to have on this show.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Your honest feedback on stuff as being a person who is looking to buy would be great to get your perspective on the stuff we talk about.
Yeah. And again, comment-wise, thank you for all the nice comments. Today is our first show, so we're working out any little technicalities or bugs.
Like getting to the radio station.
Getting to the radio station.
Baby steps.
They were nice enough to, again, we set up our streaming here, so that's the first time. You can see the nice banner. We're not seeing all the comments right now in the stream, so that is probably user error on my end. But again, just know we appreciate you listening. Grateful to be here. And again, we got a lot to talk about, guys. We got a lot to talk about with the market itself.
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be, and we kind of predicted this at the beginning that, after this rate, the new norm kind of settled in, that things were going to start to pick up. And you can really see over the last 60 days, not just me, but in general, guys, people on the team they're just getting busier. And I think our numbers are always a little bit delayed, like a week. So I think we're going to start seeing in the next couple of weeks that pending number goes up. I think I think it's going to be a good late summer fall.
Yeah, I do think so too. Mike, what are you seeing from most mortgage companies year over year? How much slower is it? Our business is down 20% year over year, would you say? Or
I'd say probably more.
Okay.
Probably more. Just because, we get the refis too. So, you get the COVID years where, typically like Luminate, if I look at Luminate, we're like 80% purchase, 20% refi. Like that was our business mix, right? You get in the COVID years, that actually flip-flopped. We were 65% refi, 35% purchase.
Yeah.
So you take a company that's typically purchase heavy, right? And you flip it where it's like now we're refi heavy, like that just tells you how many refis were happening.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting ready to go back live on air again. We're in CCO. We're at CCO, WCCO. Excited to be here. Getting ready to go live on air on News Talk 830 WCCO. And again, thanks for joining us. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at News Talk 830 WCCO. Excited to be on air for our debut show. This is a show we've done in the Twin Cities for over 15 years. Scott Wolmering, Mike Overson, myself, Ryan O'Neill. Hope everybody's having a great summer weekend. We are, again, super excited to be on WCCO. Scott, as I mentioned, I got my whole family is our diehard
listeners. Yes,
I know your mother as well. Mike, your family, CCO listeners. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Well, and now having us on air, we're going to just drive this station's ratings.
Up or down?
Up across
up or
the board.
Down.
It'll be a huge uptick with a radio show, with a real estate show on.
Yeah, it is, again, every Saturday morning, 10 to 11. We're going to be here, and you can call us or text us. It's 612-294-6949. 612-294-6949. That actually comes right to us here in studio. And again, we are live every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Scott, we were talking a little bit about the market for pricing that's happening right now, the increased market time that's happening. There's a lot of frustration in the market, wouldn't you say?
Well, there is, and there's still the expectation that everybody's seen their neighbor's house sell with 45 offers on it in 2.5 minutes, and if you're not doing this daily, you kind of still think that that's what's going on out there, and it's not, and especially like I was talking earlier in that mid-price range, pricing and time is actually what's important right now, because you're not getting 50 showings and 25 offers. You're getting 3 or 4. So let's say, you're at $700,000 as your list price and you get 3 or 4 showings. That's going to be kind of your showings.
Sure.
The only time anybody else is going to show it is if somebody sells their house, you get a relocation client coming in. But that grouping of people are the ones that were looking for your style home at $700,000. And if they've come in and they've passed on it, you either have to have the time to wait for up to 10 showings, or you have to get aggressive in your reductions to new search criteria. So 700 to 675. If that doesn't hit, 675 to 650. Reducing, and Ryan and I talk about this all the time, reducing a house from 700 to 690 does absolutely nothing because you've hit no new buyers.
Yep.
It's the same buyers. So you've done nothing except throw 10 grand away.
Yeah, again, I had a text message question come in. Again, you can text us or call us anytime, 612-294-6949. We got a text here from Kim in St. Cloud asking specifically about the VA options. She is a veteran. Thank you for your service. Most importantly, Kim, VA options for a buyer, Mike.
Love the VA loan. I think it's the best loan program out there if you qualify for it, if you're eligible to get one. I think it's the best out there. Zero down, no mortgage insurance. So the government picks up the mortgage insurance costs there. So that's a monthly savings to you right there as well. And they typically have lower rates than like a standard conventional loan would have too. So there's a lot of good about VA. The only negative about VA in today's world is that it puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage if you're competing against other offers that are either a conventional offer or cash, which cash is, that's tough to, compete with regardless. But if you're a VA buyer with a VA loan going up against a conventional loan offer, a little bit tough to compete there. Otherwise, I say, like I said, the VA loan is the best loan out there.
Yeah, I just have a VA loan going right now. And it was kind of a backwards one because like Mike was saying, there were 7 offers on this house that we were writing on. VA, unfortunately, goes to the bottom of the pile when you've got 7 offers. So I knew the father well, so I had him actually pay cash for it. So you just do a cash transaction. And then eventually the kids would just buy it from him. There's a waiting time. In fact, Mike and I talked about that. But and I was able to get it through. But they wanted the seller wanted a further out closing date. And so I called after we got it accepted. And I said, hey, since we've got a date that you're not closing in 2 weeks, would you allow the VA buyer to go through the process as long as we have the guarantee to pay cash for it if for some reason an appraisal came in low or whatever? And the seller was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. So we were able to actually have them do their own loan now.
Yeah, one thing too, as you're catching the show, we are local. We are the Minnesota real estate team is here in really all over Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Each month we do free investment property seminars. If you are an investor looking to learn more about buying investment property, we do great seminars about that. We also have a first-time homebuyer seminar. Both of those are in person, but also we do stream those on social media. One of the core elements of the Minnesota real estate team is we're all about education. Part of the reason we've done this show for so many years is it's about providing good information, guys, to help people make informed decisions wherever you're at in the market. Maybe you are a first-time home buyer. Maybe you've been renting for 20 years. Maybe you just filed a bankruptcy and you're trying to improve your credit. Over 20 years of working together, guys, and with our team, we help everybody wherever they're at in the process. And I think that's our approach. It's fun, it's friendly, it's low sales pitch, and it's all about just trying to help people here, guys.
Yeah, and I've said it for years. I posted something on my Facebook page because it was really surprising to me. Had all the professions that were the least, most trusted and least trusted, and real estate agents were right above car salesmen. And that has just not been my experience with 99% of the agents I know. I think it's the opposite. I think, and especially with our team, there's no pressure. We've always believed you give everybody as much information as you can. Most people are going to work with you, and the ones that don't, best of luck, and hopefully you get a house. But yeah, there's no expectations other than just arming you with as much information as we can, whether you're buying or selling.
Yeah, Mike Overson, we like to affectionately call Mike the hardest working man in mortgage. Not only a busy father, is he, a wonderful father. You got a lot going on, you and your team. But again, you're working with, we have so many friends at all the different real estate brokers here in the Twin Cities that you work with. You've got a great team of folks helping people wherever they're at.
Yeah, I love my team. I mean, I give them all the credit. It's I'm the name out there, but they're the engine that runs everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys know how valuable a good team and a good assistant behind you is worth. And so all the credit goes to them. And I've said it time over and over again. I think they're the best in the business, and that's what makes us successful.
Well, you are the best in business. You were the broker of the year last year.
Yeah, you did
mortgage
win it.
broker of the year.
Yeah.
So you actually are the best.
Hey, I had another question come in asking about what is the minimum to buy a house now, guys? Minimum down payment.
Depends what you qualify for. If you qualify for a VA loan, you can do 0 down. If you're buying a house in an eligible area where you can do a USDA loan, that's also a 0 down program. If you're doing some down payment assistance,
USDA, is that always rural essentially?
It's pretty much always rural. Yep.
Okay.
So it is a rural development loan out there. So the house itself has to be sitting in an eligible area. So you're going to have to be outside of the metro a little ways. On the west side of the cities, Waconia is right on the line. So if you kind of draw a line north and south at Waconia is eligible. Anything towards, the heart of the city is not eligible. So it kind of gives you an idea of where that line is at there. But if you're doing down payment assistance, Luminate has our own down payment assistance option now that we just came out with. You don't need any skin in the game for that. So you might be able to get in 0 down with that. Down payment assistance through the state of Minnesota, all you need is $1,000 out of your own pocket into it.
Huh. And most of the offers you're seeing accepted as the loan officer, how much down from the buyers on a conventional deal? 10?
I mean, in today's world, I would say this. I would say most of the people, it's a conventional loan with 5% down. If you have more to put down, it's great. It shows the sellers you got a little bit more money to work with. If the appraisal comes in short, you got some money to maybe make up a gap. So it does help if you can make a little bit bigger of a down payment. But I would say conventional 5% down is probably the bulk of what I'm seeing.
Again, we're at the halfway point already here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. This is a new show on News Talk 830 WCCO. Super excited and to be grateful to be with the wonderful folks here at CCO. We're going to be here every Saturday morning from 11 a.m. to noon for your questions, comments, thoughts. 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us during the show, but also throughout the week. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us on social media. You probably noticed we got a new backdrop, new studio here, guys. We got a little more room.
A lot more room. Yeah, this is nice. This is great.
I got sick of sitting on Scott's lap at that other
I know.
station.
Oh man.
Yes. Well, I wasn't thrilled
A
about it.
little more room here, which will be fun. As you're watching, if you're a longtime watcher, if you have a topic you'd like us to hit for one of the shows, don't hesitate to share that with us by commenting throughout the week, reaching out to us. Different specific topics, guys. Over the years, we've done a lot of fun, different topics, kind of deep dives on certain things.
Yeah, and and this market is turning into more of a normal market, where you can't just, if your house fogs and mirror, it's just not going to be gone. I mean,
Sure.
So things that were always in play are now coming back in play. Staging, actually having to do some painting of your house, actually having to do stuff to actually get it ready. Where, my God, beginning of last year, it didn't matter. I mean, I showed a house with cat pee that I had to put a towel over my head and had 13 offers on it. I mean, you couldn't even walk in there.
Right.
I wouldn't have said that when we're on the radio.
Yeah.
These are.
Yeah. It is an interesting time. Again, if you have not sold or done any real estate transactions, again, as Scott mentioned, really having a trusted expert to help you through the process, super important now, both on the buying side, but also on the selling side as well. I just can't stress it enough. We're seeing so much overpricing of listings all across the Twin Cities, and properties are sitting, and then the sellers reaching out to their agent and saying, why haven't you sold my property? Like you said, Scott, the 4 buyers in that price range who are looking for that home, they saw it. They looked at it and they said no by not writing an offer.
Well, and the other thing that a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of agents don't drive home enough with their seller is, they said, well, we only had 4 showings. And I'll say, well, no, you've had 942 showings. And out of that 942 agents and their buyers that have looked at it, only 2 have saved it as a favorite. Now, that means that, 939 people that have looked at your house, even though they've said they are interested in a Rambler that's $600,000 or whatever it is, they're not interested. So why would that be? Because everybody views online.
Yeah.
So they're not getting physical showings because the people online, based on those numbers, just aren't interested.
Yeah. Really good stuff. 612-294-6949. Saturdays, it's great to be on Saturdays as well.
You love Saturdays.
You love that.
You did not
I
like.
do.
You did not like Sundays.
Sundays,
At all.
it was kind of I needed like eight Starbucks to like get going in the morning. I don't know. There's something about a Saturday too. Everybody's kind of out and about. But so are you going to the golf thing too? I know Greg is heading over there.
I'm not. I actually have a date tonight, so I'm going to that. and then no, we're back on air.
All right. Hey, we're going back live on air. Thanks for joining us. Hey, welcome back to the second half of the Minnesota Real Estate Show here on News Talk 830 WCCO. Excited to be here Saturday mornings, 11 to noon. And we had a text message come in from a listener who says, I'm 77. I own my own home. It is paid for. I would like to downsize, but don't want to move into a condo. I want to avoid a smaller house as I no longer want lawn and snow maintenance. What options are out there if you don't want a condo?
Well, we should probably verify when people use the word condo. What I believe they're talking about is the apartment style condos.
Sure.
I mean, because a lot of townhomes are classified as a condo, but if you're not looking to get into the apartment style condos, there's patio homes, which is one level living. Sometimes they've got a basement where if you've got your grandkids over, you can go down there. But other than that, everything's on the main level. They are hard to get because there's, it's the graying of Minnesota. Everybody's getting older. And so they're a very hot commodity. But that's good. Rambler townhomes, depending on what your price range is, they're basically a twin. So you have one on one side, one on the other. And those are the ones that come to mind. What do you guys think?
So my dear mother, who has been a longtime listener of the Minnesota Real Estate Show, down in New Prague, grew up in New Prague. Mom lives in a very nice patio home, townhome.
Yep.
She's lived there for 20 years since mom and dad sold the house. It is a wonderful property. She has lawn, snow, everything taken care of for her. It's quiet. She does have one, immediate neighbor adjacent to her, but it's a super quiet option. And I think that type of property may be what would be great for the listener in this case, Scott. It's just it's a nice option, Scott and Mike.
It is, and I don't want to say that anything is not market protected, but lake homes and one level living like that, you're going to be fine because they are hard to go. They're hard to find, so you do get a premium price for it.
Yeah, thank you for listening to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. By the way, we appreciate it. We're going to be here every Saturday doing our best to provide you good information. And congrats again on paying your house off. That is a lot of hard work on your part. Had another text come in. Does 3 years of service, guys, in the Peace Corps qualify for any mortgage incentives, such as a VA mortgage for military service? Anything with the Peace Corps in that sense, Mike? That's a great question.
That is a great question. Now you're really going to be testing me here.
As you think about it, by the way, thank you, Scott. The Peace Corps, I have some good college friends who were part of the Peace Corps. Ton of hard work, ton of effort. The world needs more of that. A little bit of giving back to your fellow man, right?
For sure. I totally agree.
I'm sending you to the Peace Corps.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'd take me. Do they do a background check? I might not make it.
I'll vouch for you, dude.
Okay.
I got your back. We give you enough time, Mike?
My answer is going to be I'd have to check on that and get back to you because the VA does have requirements for active and non-active military on how long you need to be in each division in order to be eligible for a VA loan. So that's one of those things where it's like a 2-page deal, and it's if you did this and served this much active duty, but you're not active duty, this is what it is and stuff like that. So that's something I don't know off the top of my head right now, but I can certainly grab your information. We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, super cool. Thanks for listening to the show again. Thanks for texting in. Anybody else, you can call or text 612-294-6949. Hey, Scott, Mike, I did have a listing to feature Mr. Bryce Schenke with the Minnesota Real Estate Team RE/MAX Advantage Plus. He's got a listing up in Isanti, 1104 Melody Court Northwest. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath detached townhome. It's listed for $275,000. And he's having an open house today, right now, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 1104 Melody Court Northwest in Isanti, 4-bed, 2-bath, detached townhome listing, $275,000. It's a good price point.
That reminded me. I was doing an open on one of my properties a few weeks ago, and I did an hour open, and I think we still do 2-hour opens because we just always have. But now with the internet, no one's coming off signs anymore.
Some do.
Yeah, they do. And your neighbors are going to come in off signs. But for the most part, people kind of get their search set up and they schedule it and they go out. Just a side note, I've just thought that hours might be a little bit more productive.
Hey, had another question here come in. How are pools helping or hurting home values right now?
Hugely helping. Hugely helping.
Everybody loves a pool.
Yeah.
After this week.
Yeah,
I
that's
want a
right.
pool.
Yeah, it is. It used to be a detriment 10 years ago. It is no longer a detriment. It is, if you have a pool, I always say you want to buy a pool that the people have already put it in, because on a market analysis, when I value your home, if you have $100,000 into your pool, concrete, boulder walls, whatever it is, if you got 100 grand in, you get about 35% of that out. So you get about 35,000 for your entire package. So you want to be the buyer of that home, but you just don't want to necessarily be the one that wrote the 100 grand down.
Well, but what's interesting, here's what I would say too. What I'm seeing as well, Scott, to piggyback on that, is even more of a premium, even a higher number than that 35%, because they're just so in demand.
They are.
One of my brother Tim, has got a pool, and it's like everyone and their mother wants to go there. And so, when we started in the business, when we started doing the show, nobody wanted a pool.
No.
Nobody wanted a pool, maintenance, all these other things. And I think now, with a lot of people working from at home, a lot of people, more at home, everybody loves pools. So if you are a homeowner with a pool, pat yourself on the back. That will help you when you resell.
Well, and I think COVID, the new generation of kids, the 25-year-olds to 30s, they run a balanced life. I mean, they're not killing themselves like we did work-wise or play-wise. Everything's very, very balanced. And I think COVID taught us that, enjoying some of that stuff when you're stuck at home, and now that you can work from home. And I think that also has kind of boosted the pool interest. Because I'll tell you what, if you've got a listing with a pool, it's gone.
Does time of year matter? So listing a house with a pool in the winter versus summer?
Yeah, I think it would. It's like selling a lake home in the middle of winter. You can tell them that the sand is hard rock bottom, but they can't see it.
Sure.
Where same with the pool, you can tell them it's gorgeous and whatever else, and here's some pictures of it at night, but they don't physically get to look at it.
The other thing too, for all of our listeners throughout kind of all over the state of Minnesota, people are loving lakes. They're loving cabins. They're loving VRBOing to these properties. Again, having friends, family, different people that own cabin types of properties, they've seen a huge uptick in demand, appreciation, again, from these vacation rental by owners or VRBOs. A lot of East Coast people come into Minnesota and they drop lots of money to rent these places, guys, for 1 week at a time, 2 weeks, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 to rent cabins. I know, again, I have a family member who has a cabin. A lot of East Coast people come in. They love Minnesota.
Yep. Yeah. And what's crazy about that, we used to have a few on the Whitefish chain years and years and years ago. And I was a little skeptical because I'm like, are these really going to rent? And my assistant at that time was Linda Wicklund, which you guys know. I mean, they were booked out in 2 weeks for the
Sure.
entire summer, whatever weeks we wanted to keep available for us. But other than that, and my daughter just bought her third VRBO in Arizona. She's 28. It's a very good investment.
Hey, one other listing I wanted to hit on. This is down in New Prague as well. Miss Holly Walgrave, awesome agent with the Minnesota real estate team and Remax Advantage Plus, has one at 1201 Park Court in New Prague. It's listed at $439,900. Holly said it's impeccably cared for. It backs up to a park. It's got new flooring and paint, beautiful vaulted ceilings, and it's 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Really nice property. Again, 1201 Park Court down in New Prague, 439.9. It would be fun, guys, to do the show from New Prague. Mike, you up for it?
Yeah, that sounds amazing, Scott.
They have Wi-Fi in New Prague?
We're going to do it from maybe Mom's townhome.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
There we go.
I would love to do that.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we're even talking about maybe doing the fair again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair, yep. The fair will
That'd be fun.
We are excited to be out at the fair as well. And again, if you're catching the show, you're wondering what's going on here. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, Saturdays 11 to noon. Local real estate show. Welcome questions, comments, thoughts. We help people buy homes, sell homes, invest in real estate. Our website is just mnrealestateshow.com. We've been doing this particular show for a long time, and we're all about providing information. So if you have topics you would like us to hit, to discuss, to do more of a deep dive, please don't hesitate to reach out to us to let us know. We want this show to be as much value as possible for you as a listener, wherever you're at in the buying and selling process.
Yeah, it's always good to get with a professional, and especially a real estate agent that knows what's going on in the market. Like, for example, my first 24 years in the business, I did not sell one property without asking for a home inspection. I mean, it was every single one you asked for a home inspection.
Sure.
In the last 2 years, I haven't asked for a home inspection because you can't get a house through. Well, you've got to have trust in me as your agent to believe that I'm still looking out for your best interest, because that's crazy. Why would anybody do that? But the reality is 35 offers on a property. If you ask for a home inspection, you're not getting it. So there is risk involved. There could be, some high ticket items, but that's one of the things we just went through.
Yeah, final break at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope everybody's having a great weekend here. We're excited to be on News Talk 830 WCCO. We'll be back. Thanks, everybody on social media. Appreciate all the nice comments as well. Hopefully you like the new setup, the new studio. What do you think there, Mike?
When you said the fair, that we might be going back to the fair, you're talking about the Rock County Fair in Laverne, Minnesota?
Yeah, in Laverne,
right?
In Laverne,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
what I thought. I figured we get a lot of requests to go down there.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need to go
we
to
can go to Laverne.
Yeah.
go to the fair.
How many people are in your town, Laverne?
There's like 4,500 people.
Oh, there is. That's
Oh, yeah.
bigger than I thought. I thought it was like a 1,200.
So the state fair too. We will be at the state fair. I think there's 2 weekends there, so that will be fun. Scott knows he's not a big fan of the state fair. I love the state fair personally, so it'll be fun to be out there.
No, I like doing my loop, my food loop. It takes
Yeah.
about 45 minutes, and then I'm out of the state fair.
Yeah.
But I definitely. I went to, what was that band I went to with you one year?
Guns N' Roses.
No, it wasn't. Well, it was just.
It was an '80s rock, like Motley Crue.
It was Motley Crue, yeah,
Yes.
which is not my jam. So that was not
Motley
particular.
Crue's not your jam.
No, it's not. I know it's your jam.
That was an interesting question about the Peace Corps, Mike. We've never had that. Now that I think about the Peace Corps with the VA loan, super interesting.
There's different requirements, like I was saying. There's different requirements there. If you're active versus non-active, if you are, in one of the, if you're regular military versus National Guard versus Peace Corps, so it's one of those things where it's like a 2-page thing, and it's every option's different requirements. You need to be here different lengths of time and stuff. So that's one of those things I'd have to look up to get the accurate answer.
Yeah. Again, we have one final segment. And again, Saturdays, 11 to noon, we're going to be here. If you are interested in those seminars, mnrealestateshow.com is where you can find out about our first-time homebuyer, investment property seminars, investment property, even in this market. It's not a bad time to even still consider, to look. We'll do some of our shows, really a deep dive about investment property. But even in this market, guys, there's never a bad time to buy.
It's not. It's like any top investor, Buffett, anybody like that. He'll say the best time to buy a house is right now. One of the guys that taught an investment class, he said, if you're sitting on the fence trying to pick a time to jump in, he's like, grab a dart, run to a neighborhood, throw it, and then whatever house you hit, go buy it.
Yep.
He said that's the best way to do it.
We're going back live on air. Hey, welcome back to our final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate it. Hope you're having a good weekend. Had just 2 other listings we wanted to touch on here. One is in Dayton for $369,999. Noah Fogel on the Minnesota Real Estate team's got a great property, Scott. It's a spacious 4-bed, 3-bath home. It's in Dayton, and it's got an outdoor shed, perfect for extra storage, hot tub, great for relaxing. Beautiful kitchen, many stainless steel updated appliances, the master suite with the en-suite bathroom featuring a tiled shower, large backyard, perfect for outdoor entertaining, and easy access to highways and public transportation. Super nice property there. And then our last one that we wanted to touch on as well is Mr. Rashawn Shaver. Mike Rashawn's a great agent. He's going to be out doing an open house here today at 925 Wilson, St. Paul. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath, almost 2,400 square foot home for $339,900. Again, open house today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It's got an open floor concept, 3 bedrooms on the main floor. Really nice property. Check that out. Stop out to the open house in St. Paul, 925 Wilson Avenue. Guys, we're starting to see more open houses. A little more market time, a little less crazy market buying time, and we're settling in to a new normal with 7% interest rates.
That's right.
I look at it, this market is the resurgence of the skilled real estate agent. You know, and if we look back at the COVID years, did you really have to be a skilled agent to sell a house? I mean, not really, right? So the super low interest rates sold the house for you. So it's one of those things where it's like a buyer comes in, it's like, all right, so I got to offer 30 grand over this house. Well, 30 grand over back in the COVID years, maybe only costs you another $75 in your monthly payment, you know, but you know, now that same $30,000, you know, that might increase your payment by, you know, $250 a month, right? And so this type of market's going to be the resurgence of the skilled real estate agent. It's going to take a little bit more skill and experience and stuff like that to sell a house because they're sitting longer, a little bit less buyers out there, interest rates are a little bit higher. And this is where you really start to see the separation where the skilled agents are going to be out there doing their thing, and some other agents are going to be, you know, leaving the industry.
Yeah, for those again catching the show, the Minnesota Real Estate Team, we're all throughout the state of Minnesota. We've got top agents that work with buyers, sellers, investors, really all around the Twin Cities, all over Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. And again, from an investing standpoint, real estate investors, we do those free seminars every month, but we were just saying there's never a bad time to buy real estate. When I actually, as an investor, when I purchased some of the property, Mike, was really at the worst time. It was at the height of the market, 2004, 5, 6, 7. Values went down at that point. But now, again, things have come back. And that was a time we had no appraisals either, or a different appraisal process. Maybe talk about that.
Yeah, the appraisal process has completely changed the game. And so, you know, a lot of people might compare, you know, what the market we're in now to, you know, back in the mid to late 2000s. But there's two main differences that make them completely different. Number one, the loan options that are out there now, you have to be able to verify your income. Lenders have certain requirements where they got to verify the financial stability of the buyer so that they can actually afford the payment. Back in the day, it's like, hey, what'd you make? I work at McDonald's and I make 120 grand a year. Perfect. We'll put the 120 grand in the application. You're good. You qualify. Didn't have to verify anything.
Yeah, stated income. That blows people's mind now. That you literally say, I want to buy a $2.5 million house. What do I have to make to buy that? Well, you make $550,000. Okay, I make $550,000, and that was it.
Yeah,
and it was stated income. You stated it. You got a good credit score. You're in.
And now, obviously, Mike, that's gone. That is gone. You have no contact with the appraiser at all. And so, from a homeowner standpoint, a buyer standpoint, there's protection for you in this different 2023 market.
Yep. And back in the day, you could call up your buddy, the appraiser, say, hey, this appraisal needs to come in at this dollar amount, and the appraisal will come back at that dollar amount. Deal closes. Yep. Today's world, you can't do that. So you send in your order to some sort of appraisal desk, whether that's a third-party company or that's an appraisal desk, inside your company. Now that appraisal order gets round robin to an appraiser that's licensed in that zip code, right? You don't know who's going to get it. You have no idea who to call to say, I need to come in, at this value. So the appraisal finally gets done and gets sent back to you. You've had zero contact with the appraiser. There's no way that you could have said, hey, I need this value on this thing or whatever. And so that's the second piece of why it's completely different today.
Guys, we had a couple of the questions from our listeners. Again, a follow-up topic on the pools. Any thoughts about Swimply, a VRBO for pools? Looks like a good way to help pay for pool costs. Now, not sure how that would affect insurance. That is probably the key, I would think, is insurance-wise, liability-wise. In that case, what would you be looking at? There would be a great way to generate additional though, guys.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have people over at your house that you don't know using your pool. I mean, so
but it's like the car thing. The car, I'm blanking out on the name of it right now. That does the exact same thing. That you can rent your car,
Turo, right?
Yeah,
So, okay, so you're not there at the pool. You let them come in, use it for the day, you're gone, right?
Well, I haven't done it.
I suppose it's whatever you want to, if you want to be there to monitor.
I mean, if I don't have to be there, I would rent my pool out. But if I have to actually hang out with a bunch of people I don't know at my pool, I'm probably not going to do that.
But it is probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea as far as a revenue generator, Mike.
what you should do is if you're in a complex that has a community pool, you should rent your community pool out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now we're thinking outside the box.
That's right.
Rent your. Hey, another question here. Wondering if Mike could talk about bridge loans for those who may own their house but are maybe downsizing. What's that process like? Where is interest compared to a 30-year term?
So bridge loans, when it comes to that, bridge loans are the last option that I try to look at. Bridge loans still serve a purpose out there, right? They're still done. Interest rates are a little bit higher on them. They're a short-term loan though, because does the interest rate really matter? It could be 20% if you're only going to have the months. It's not a big deal, right? And their purpose is that you can take equity out of the house you currently own now and use that as down payment on the other house, so that you don't have to sell your current house before you close on the other house. So the only negative is you got closing costs because it is another loan, right? And you have some interest you're going to pay for a couple months while the loan hangs out there. A better solution is if you have like a 401k account, do a loan against your 401k. It's just like a bridge loan, right? Except you don't have any closing costs. There's no interest you pay on it. It's not taxable. Use that for the down payment on the next house. And then when you sell your old house, just pay the 401k loan off back. Or if you have a family member that's got some money,
I was going to say.
Get gift funds from a family member. It's free. It's easy. Go close on the next house, pay back when your old house sells.
Yeah, I did that last year more than I think I probably did in 24 years. Because a first-time home buyer can't buy a house, because they're minimum down. So they have to have their house sold in order to get the cash to buy it. And so, yeah, I'd have parents, basically write the check, and that way they can buy, and then their house is going to sell quickly anyway. But more of those last year than I'd ever done.
And again, as a homeowner or as a buyer, when you hear Scott talk about that, what may be hard to understand is you would say, look, Ryan, I'm pre-approved. I should be able to buy a house. But again, when you're making an offer, the listing agent and the seller are going to look at different offers differently. If it's cash, that's most favorable. If you've got a significant down payment, that's next favorable. And then it kind of goes down from there based on the down payment. And so that's what can be harder about it. That's what creates a difficulty, guys, in our market. A lot of really good people trying to buy homes that haven't been able to.
Yeah, one thing on multiple offers that we've talked about it all the time, because obviously it's still prevalent in our market. It was crazy at the beginning of last year. But I was talking with a bunch of agents, and I said, what do you think the number one most important thing is on multiple offers besides price? I mean, obviously, it's going to come to price, but and most of them said the agent and the loan officer.
So who is
the agent that's representing the buyer? Is there going to be problems? Are they reputable? Is the lender, Mike, local? I mean, those are the things, and that's what I look at. If it comes down to brass tacks, I'm going to go with someone that I know.
It's been our first show here. Mike, best way for people to reach you and your team at Luminate Home Loans?
Easiest way, go to applywithmike.com. You can connect with us there. You can fill out an application there. Super easy, applywithmike.com.
Yeah, awesome work. Scott, last thoughts?
Yeah, just enjoy the weekend. It looks like it's going to kind of get a little bit cooler here moving through the week. But yeah, again, we're here every Saturday, 11 to 12. We love the fact that you're tuning in. Check us out at mnrealestateshow.com.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Again, we're so excited to be here with the good folks at News Talk 830 WCCO. We've been doing this show a long time, have a lot of great fellow agents and friends in the industry with all the different brokers. I'm just excited to be here. We want the show to be valuable, helpful, fun, informative. Throughout the week, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And again, thanks to CCO for the warm welcome. Take care. Nice job, guys. First shows in the books.
There we are.
First shows in the books. Gotta give again a big thanks to Josh Wheeler helping us out on our debut. Greg Sellers, awesome representative here with Odyssey with WCCO. Just really appreciate the warm welcome, guys. We'll be back next weekend. Okay.
Very cool.
All right, everybody. Well, take care.
See ya.
Thanks again. We'll see you.